Trump. Okay, John, thanks very much. Congressman Akin joins us live now from St. Louis. Good morning, Congressman. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure, George. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to visit with you.
Absolutely. Last night you sent out a tweet saying the liberal media is trying to get you out of the race, but you just saw the piece right there. The calls for you to go have come from Mitt Romney, Republican senators, Sean Hannity, Rush Limbaugh. That is not the liberal media.
No, you're right on that. And essentially, with the way I see things have shaped up, but we've given this a lot of thought, and that is the fact that over more than a year period of time, a number of us ran in this Republican primary. Each of us had our messages. I was outspent by a large amount in terms of media, and yet by standing in principle and putting politics aside and talking about the foundations of this country, the people in Missouri chose me to be their candidate. And I don't believe it's right for party bosses to decide to override those voters. And so I think that really we should allow things to stand
so are you
as
saying
the election process is unfolded.
Are you saying then that you are in no matter what? You are not going to get out before that September 25th deadline, even if it appears you're going to lose and cost Republicans possibly control the Senate?
Well, George, I'm never going to say everything that can possibly happen. I don't know the future, but I do know this. I knew that the party voters took a look at our hearts, understood who we were, had a chance to meet us in many, many different ways, and made a decision. And it makes me uncomfortable to think that the party bosses are going to dictate who runs as opposed to the election process.
But you still are open to getting out.
Principle. Yeah.
You still are open to getting out?
Well, I have made the decision to stay in because I believe that we can win this race. There is such a strong contrast between me and my opponent. We're about opposite on all things. She's in favor of Obamacare. I voted 30 times against Obamacare. And she is also strongly pro-abortion, and I'm pro-life. I think that contrast gives us a basis to win this, and I'm planning to win it.
Let's talk more about what you said. In John Carl's piece, we showed you saying, I misspoke one word in one sentence on one day. So let's put up the original statement you've apologized for. You said, if it's a legitimate rape, the female body has ways to try to shut that whole thing down. One of your top supporters, Dr. Jack Wilkie, the founder of the International Right to Life, after speaking with you yesterday, put out a statement saying, Rep. Akin never used the word legitimate to refer to the rapist, but rather false claims like those made in the Roe case, the case of Roe v. Wade, Norma McCorvey, who had originally claimed that she was raped. Is that what you meant by legitimate?
Well, first of all, let me say that legitimate, the word legitimate doesn't ever have a good reason to be standing next to rape. There is no rape that is legitimate. And I understand that rape is a terrible and a tragic and a violent crime. And that's why I have apologized for using that word legitimate, because it doesn't belong there. And I also know that I hurt people. And the first thing that I thought was right to do was to apologize. But I'm not apologizing for the fact that I'm pro-life, and that I also believe that it's important to defend the helpless and the unborn.
But then are you trying to say that if you just took out the word legitimate there, and if it's a rape, the female body has ways to try to shut that whole thing down, that then the sentence would be true?
No, I was medically wrong. I understand that pregnancy can result from rape, and those are terrible circumstances, very difficult circumstances.
You're a member of the House Science Committee. A lot of people are wondering how an idea like that could even get in your head.
Well, the point of the matter is that yes, pregnancy can happen as a result of rape. I understand that, and I've acknowledged that fact.
How about this?
At the same time, I don't apologize for the fact that I'm consistently pro-life, and I believe in defending the unborn. And I believe that based on those kinds of principles, we can win this race.
How does this
sharp
issue,
contrast between me and my opponent.
Excuse me, sir. How does this issue, though, of false claims of rape come up? How is this relevant to the case? Are you suggesting, or your ally suggesting, that babies are being killed because women make false claims of rape? You know, a lot of people believe the much bigger problem is women afraid to come forward after an incident because of shame or fear.
Well, I believe that what you just said is true. And I think there are many victims of rape, and it is extremely serious. As I said, it's a violent crime. It leaves permanent scars, and in that regard, that's why I apologize, because I said hurtful things. But I don't apologize for being pro-life and standing up for the ones who are defenseless. And that is a deep conviction that I have.
The chairman of the Republican National Committee does not want you to go to the convention. Are you going?
No, I honor their particular wishes. My objective here is to be able to show the sharp contrast between myself and my Democrat opponent. She supported Obamacare. I voted 30 times against it. She is pro-abortion. I am pro-life. And we have other big differences. She is consistently voting for big government, more taxes, and there hadn't been a budget in 1,000 days in the Senate. In the House, we have passed budgets, and that contrast, I think, will result in our winning this race in November.
Congressman, thank you very much for your time this morning.